Okay, so the euro dollar, and I'm talking about, so I did let's call it backtesting. There are many trades that I've taken in between, and many I haven't, because, you know, pursuing DAX and all that. But this year I haven't been that active on forex, and I'm upset about that. I should have been, because this would have been quite a lot. But then again, the time was given to DAX, which kind of more than did its job. Obviously, when you do your testing, you want to have a solid, rigid rules. So this testing was mostly focused on setup 2. And I was talking to Darren earlier. You know, if we take setup 1s, which would be something like this, as we all know, I mean, yeah, this one is a very good example of a setup 1. This is like right at Frankfurt Open. Now, the setup 1 has a 70% win rate, including the break-even trades, of course. But we know that you won't get setup 1s all the time. But setup 2s, like this one, they happen all the time. And if the market's moving this much, right in front of you every day, like this move, and like this move, and then here again, this move, and specifically when, you know, when the daily chart is moving really strongly down, and you know that it's going in that direction, and you can't make an entry because you're not seeing across the zero line. You know, like this here, we have a strong move here the day before, and the following day you have a easy follow through, right? So this is an example of setup 2, and I wanted to actually kind of share that. You know, you like backtesting, right, Doug? You do it yourself as well. I like it myself. I have the forex tester software, but I think ever since I've got my trading view, I haven't really bothered with forex tester much, because this is a lot easier for me. I can always click on this button, bring it here, and now I know I can talk about what is a setup 2. You know, so it doesn't look very impressive, but it has this this beautiful, powerful information that the day before something had happened. And obviously, if you're trading live, you would know what were these circumstances, what actually happened on that day. Was it some positive news? What was it? But even if you don't bother about that, I think this is very strong move, and usually there will be a follow through after this. So this is 7 o'clock, which will be 9 o'clock on the Pepperstone. And so entries like these will be counted. Let me just actually check. 20th of October. If I've taken that. Yes, I've counted that. No, I haven't counted that. 9th of October. I have 9th of October. Oh, that's 20th. Hold on. Yes, I have counted that. 20th of October, S2 by result 2R. So this is counted. How is it counting? The entry would obviously be over here. So at the end of the first Frankfurt Open, you probably haven't taken this trade. But you see here at the end of the 10 o'clock candle, 8 o'clock candle, 10 o'clock is the London Open. You now have a new box created up there. I'll move just one candle. So around this box would have been created, and you would go long in there. It's hit that level. Your stop loss would be 1R, somewhere here. And it goes up and up and up, and I think it's hit your target point up there. Let me actually find it out like this. If it's a long position and you go long there, and your stop loss is here, where's your 2R? Yeah, it's around here.
So you wouldn't have your stop loss at the bottom of the box, you just have it below the gator?
No. In this occasion, this is the PC, so I have two options.
Yeah.
Because this level was a fake out, a PC, right? I have the option to actually use this. I can even use this as well, you know. And the reason I'm using that is this. When you were taking the entry, there was no box low. You see it now. Do you want me to play it back? I'll show it to you. Because this box low will be created at the end of this one. By that time, your worries of stop loss are gone. If you look at, you know, this box low was printed at the end of this candle. So when we're taking the entry, this was our box low, not this one. I'll actually play it back so it's clear. Let's bring it here. This is my Frankfurt Open. I have a clear open gator. There's strong price action. I know something's happening. So I'm going to be taking this, because this would be a famous setup. On the M15 it would be a famous setup. But I'm going to take it on the hourly. And then at the end of the London candle, London Open, I've seen that it's actually faked out here and it's ended up with a bullish candle. At that time, at the end of this, I would have a box high up there. So as you can see, there is no box. So you have an option. You'd say, okay, you can either take the range of this candle, which would allow you to take a trade with this much risk, and then your 2R would be still around that area. Otherwise, you can actually go above that level, which would be the box, and have the stop loss where the lowest price was. And in that case, your target point will have to be then increased slightly to that level. But I think about, for majority of the year, 25 or 30 stop loss would normally do the trick on euro dollar. 25 stop loss, 50 target point. Unless I think there was some months in March and April when volatility was very high, 30 was not enough. You had to use 50. But you would know when to do that, because as soon as you put a pending order here and your 30 stop loss comes to somewhere here, you know that your stop loss is wrong, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense?
Yep.
Shift. Here we go. So you see on this one, the distance is 13. So if you normally go with, if 25, you will know for this one that 25 is too big a stop loss. So it should be at max 15. So if you were going to go long on that one, this is your 16 stop loss. And if it's below this low, then it's 20. So 20, 25 will do the job, but here it will be 20, and when it goes up, 40 would be your target point, or your target point can also be influenced from this mechanism, target zone 1, obviously. So as we can see, that 2R comes perfectly just before the target zone 1. So in like live trading, you sometimes would have a 1.8, right? 1.7 target point. Sometimes it will be like slightly more as well, because it could be that the box is tighter here. Maybe you need a 10 stop loss and your target is still 40 points. So in that case, you could probably make slightly more. But if you still want to stick with just -1 and +2, then you can just, always go with that. But I think it's best to kind of take the market volatility into account. That's why we have the ATM, which gives us kind of variable stop losses. Anyway, so this is what I counted. So if I don't count, and the reason I count this, another reason is that, okay, I'm trading currency and I'm trading them on hourly and on the M15 chart. So instead of dropping to the M15 chart, I will take the setup once. So let me just drop to M15 for this one. Come on. There we go. Like I said, these setups, the setup 2s, are setup 1s on the M15, and that's why I'm taking them. So here you go, right? You have a perfect setup 1 on the M15, which you could check yourself if you're not sure. But I'm pretty confident, and I just recognize the setup on the H1 itself. When I see this, I know what's happening, and I want to take it. So the rule is simply this: that at Frankfurt Open, I want the gator to be open. Not necessarily, like I'm not just looking for setup 2, I'm looking for setup 1s as well. As we know, if this chart was M15, if this was hourly chart, and this was Frankfurt Open, obviously then I would say, okay, I have a setup 1, I'll go long there, and I will take the same trade. So using the fractal geometry of it, one can take setup 1s and setup 2 on the hourly chart, knowing that automatically when you take a setup 2, it's a setup 1 on the M15. So it kind of, ticks that, like, oh, I'm not doing something new. I'm just doing the same setup, just that I have a multiple time frame factor into kind of, into it. So there you go. So when I was doing this, I think it came to around 6.2% for the year. Most months you had like, I think 10 is the average. I don't know why I haven't counted it, but I'll count it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $38. Yeah. What? I had written it down. I think it's around 65 trades. So like once a week at least you had a setup on this. The thing is, how many traders would you come across who would have taken 65 trades on one pair? They're probably taken 65 in a month.
Sure, yeah. Patience is key.
So the other rule that I've used with this is that only one trade per day, if there is a setup. So if I took, let me find a losing one. Okay, so if I took this trade, this would be a rent. Actually, this is my actual trade. I paid a rent on this one. Let me check my list if I've taken this. 14th. Yes, I have taken this. And this is a -1 pointed out as -1. That's it. I'm not going to take another trade. And that is what actually making this successful. So one trade, rent paid, that's it. The next day, I have a setup 1, 15th of October. Yes, that's been taken, marked as +2. Because your entry is here, stop loss is there. It went 2 in your favor. This would be counted. Yeah?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah. See, I've been taking the S2s just as they cross the purple. Is that wrong?
Just as they cross the purple? No.
Yeah, so if you go back to that one you took before that was a loser, I'd have taken the box higher up than that one. There, yeah.
Where would you take it?
Go back to just above there, where the
this one.
line is.
This one?
No, to the left. Keep going to the left. Yeah, there. That's what I would take.
Hold on, the 12th of October.
Just well, you cross now. Your crosshairs, moving crosshairs to the right now. Keep going to around about 12 o'clock. Not that way, the other way, to the right.
To the right.
Yeah.
This one.
No, that's to the left. Go to the left. Go to the right. On the same day as you took the losing trade.
Hold on. This one you're talking about.
No, keep going to the right.
Right is this.
No, keep going. Stop. Go back now. Back. You know your losing trade, which was.
Give me the date and time.
Losing trade. Oh, no, you've gone
on the 14th. Go to the 14th.
Go to the 14th. Yeah. This one.
Yeah, 14th. Yeah.
Oh,
that's the 16th. You need to go to the 14th.
That's the 14th.
No, that's the 14th.
That's the 16th. Right, that's the 14th. Then sorry, it's the 13th.
Okay, here.
No, not there. Keep going backwards. Or keep going to the left.
Do you have a lag or something? Maybe you see my stream a little bit lagged.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the 13th right
I'm
now.
if you look at where the MAs cross and then they cross the purple, that's the S2 I'll be taking.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 13th now.
All right. Well, your crosshairs are on the 14th on my screen.
Really?
Oh, no, they're on the 13th.
No, they're on the 13th. Look at this. Here. That's the 13th.
Yeah, that's the one I'd have taken.
Ah, so this intersection of the purple, are you thinking?
Yeah, that's where I'm looking for them at the intersections. Yeah.
Oh no, this is not counted. I can show. No, actually.
That's where I've been counting them on with that.
I usually, good you noticed that. I don't know why, but I have counted this. Usually I wouldn't count this. But that's not the only setup one. That's not the only setup one. Like this is a setup one. Like it can be taken here, right? Because the gator is open, it's going down. It can be taken. I normally wouldn't take it unless there's other reason for it. But that's not the only setup one. So setup one is this. This is a setup one. Can you see the 9th of October?
Setup 2, you mean?
Did I say setup one?
2?
Did I say setup one?
Yeah.
That's it. My brain,
No,
my brain and my there's incoherence going on.
Everyone's getting confused now.
Yeah, it's because he was telling me go right. It's like go to the right. Well, have you got your screen flipped or something? Right. Anyway, this is the example of setup one, Doug. This is the example of setup one. Here.
Setup 2. Setup 2.
I keep saying setup one. No, setup two. That's what I mean. I'm sorry. This is the example of setup two. And obviously this is the example of setup one. And the reason this is a setup one because we have a cross of zero line. Right? We have a peak of 3, cross of zero line, sleeping gator, purple is hovering up there. One of the most beautiful setup one. That's what we want to take. But if we only take setup one, there will be only a few signals per pair. Oh, who did we lose? Somebody dropped off.
He's gone.
He's probably connection. Must be a connection issue or something. Should we wait for him? Because I was explaining something. This is good, to do these live things because.
So he was taking it on the 13th.
Yeah, he was looking for.
And
Are you back, Doug? Are you back? It should show me somewhere, but it doesn't show me anyway.
Yeah, he's there. I can see him.
Okay, let me just move this. Okay, so yeah, I had the both the Discord and the stream on the same screen, so I couldn't see. Now I have them on the side, so I can see.
I think I've got internet problems there.
Right. Yeah, there was a lag then. That's why. I think that you were getting a picture slightly delayed, but you were hearing me spot on.
Yeah.
So that was creating the problem. He was like, "Oh, you're on the 14." No, I'm on the 13.
Yeah. You on the 13th now, are you?
I am on the 13. Yeah.
That's the one I would have taken, the S2 there.
Yeah, which is fine. But that's not the only setup one. And the purple is not, this intersection isn't, I mean, you're not considering that as a condition for a setup 2, are you?
No, I'm looking for a cross of the purple to the, so when the MAs go into the when the gator opens, my next criteria is it must cross the purple before I even look for an S2.
I no, not in my books. A setup 2 is simply a continuation of wave. So earlier, I think when I started talking, I wanted to clarify this, and I'll do it again. I've noticed, like,
Yeah, I've got two S2s. I've got one into wave 5, and I'm trying to catch wave 3 as well.
So what
So
about
I'm trying to get,
this? What you see right now? This is the
yeah,
chart
well,
frozen.
yeah.
Is this a
Yeah,
setup two
once
for
that
you?
goes into once that goes into a setup 1, I'd be looking for it to then re-establish wave 5 and then look for a setup 2.
So is this a setup two for you? What we see on the screen?
No, yeah, I can see. I would be anticipating a setup 1 coming, so probably not.
No, this actually is a setup two, and that's what I want to explain.
Right.
So over the years, looking at different forex pairs, I found that every time frame, like, okay, you can find the setup 1 and setup 2 patterns or any other trading pattern, they would repeat on all the time frames, but they would show up differently depending on which time frame you're looking at. So for example, the hourly time frame, it would show setup 1s, but it would show setup 2s as well in between. And the way I see the forex market is that for mostly, like, let's say European pairs, let's say euros, more often than not, they would move at the Frankfurt Open and they would lose their momentum, as I'm showing, towards the end where the banks close. And then they would go sideways, and then they'll go active during the day, and then they'll go dead again, and then go active during the day. As you can see, just within these few examples, you can see active during the sessions, the banks are open, go sideways, then active, go sideways, then active. So that means that this influx of volatility and orders is what dictates the patterns, right? So for the hourly chart, you would find days when you would have the chart moving consistently like so. See this one. And this basically is like, when you see 3 consecutive candles on the daily chart. When you have 3 consecutive green candles, this is what you'll see on the hourly chart. And if you only follow setup 1, which requires a cross of 0 line, you would only have traded this. But if you follow the setup 2, after seeing this, what you saw on this day, 24th of September, you would have taken trade on this. This would be a break even. Let me check my list. What have I pointed that out? Yep, this has been taken on the 22nd, and I have noted it's down as a break even. Why? Because it would have gone 1 hour in your favor. Stop loss would have come to break even, and it will kick you out. And because the rule is only 1 trade per day, this would not be taken. The following day, most probably there's divergence. We probably won't take it. But let me check my chart. Yep, I haven't taken it because of this divergence and all that. And the other rule actually that I haven't talked about is that I want to only take 2 trades per wave. Now this is tricky. What is that? So I would count a wave from when it crossed the 0 line here. So when it's crossed and the gator is open, from this point to this point where it crossed back, I'm considering it at 1 wave. Not wave 1, but 1 wave. Within a single wave, I don't want to take more than 2 trades. So same concept, like for the pullbacks, I say I only want to take the first pullback and the second pullback. And in this, I would say within a single wave, I would only want to take at the Frankfurt Open the first setup 2, and then probably the next day or another one. I only want to take like 1 or 2. And then I don't want my wave 3s to be longer than 3 days. So you have 1, 2, 3 here. I won't take it on the 4th day. This rule is difficult to put in words when I put it on paper, but showing it on the chart is relatively easy. Do you understand? Can I just confirm that with you?
Yeah.
So like this is wave 3 started here. And most of the times when you have a very strong wave 3, like 3 or 4 days, the chances are that you won't even see wave 5 on there. So setup 1 won't be seen, and you would have seen the market move really strongly right in front of you. You knew it's going down every day, and you won't be trading it because you'd be looking for setup 2 only. Okay, so this would be a setup 2. Fresh day. You have the gator open. And I'm not qualifying it because it's crossing the purple.
That's the ones I'm looking for.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what I'm looking for.
So if you only look for this, then you're looking for reversal setups.
Yeah, it's a reversal S2.
This should be a reversal S2. Back in the days when we first started and we started taking reversals, this was our criteria, that when price crosses the purple and then still creates a box, this would be a reversal, because if you go to the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour chart would be showing a gator open to the downside. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. Where was it? Was it somewhere here? Yes. So you see the 4-hour chart itself has the gator down over here. Let me go back to the H1.
Yeah.
Was it this one?
Yeah, that's another one I've taken.
Come on, give me the feed. Look at them. Look at them. They've disappeared. Anyway, for this purpose, yes, this can be considered a setup 2, not the one that I would take. This is also a setup 2. So if you look at this chart here, does not qualify for a setup 1, right? Because purple is mingled. But 2 o'clock, that means probably somewhere within, Asian session, it moved up, hit the highs of those last 2 days, pulls back, hits this level again. Now guess what's happened? Purple has detached itself and the gator is open. So when you're about to trade it an hour into London Open, you have an open gator with a box level which is level to this. A very nice entry, a breakout entry that you could have taken.
Yeah.
I'll check my chart for September the 9th, not September, October. Yeah, I've taken that as a setup 2.
Right.
And this is a 2R. So that's setup 2. And this also is a setup 2 up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that one.
For me, it has not triggered. Why? Because this is a 6 o'clock candle. And after 7, I will look at it, right, over here. And I would have a pending order above this. But it has not been triggered. And which is why 12th of October is not in my list. I have the 11th of October. Not the 11th of October, sorry. The 9th of October. But I don't have... And I have the 13th. I have the 13th setup 2. I have the 14th. So, if you don't take these ones, then what you would miss is the setup 1s on the 15-minute chart. And that's what I was explaining with this. So the reason I'm taking the setup 2s is because the setup 2 is a famous setup on this. I want this strong move. This is a famous setup where we have a very strong move the day before. Then it goes sideways during the Asian session. And then around Frankfurt, we take it. So if I take you to the 15-minute chart, you can see it was a perfect setup 1. Let me take it back to the hourly chart and take that time back to where it was a setup. So that's the 7 o'clock candle. If I get the feed from these buggers, let's do it. Okay, I'll cancel this thing. And then I'll go back to it again. This is what it does sometimes. A very good example here as well. This setup 2. Yeah, setup 2. So let me just go bar replay on this one. So on the hourly, you would see the chart like so. This is triggered before. Yeah, this is triggered before Frankfurt Open, but there's still time to enter. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, and right at the London Open, this candle is here. So it's broken the box, but your entry could still be very close to the box. So you'd go market order on this, and your stop loss would go up there. And if I take you to the 15-minute chart on this, this would be a setup 1, as you can see very clearly. Nice, lovely setup 1. So setup 2s will always be, so setup 2 on an hourly chart will be a perfect setup one on the 15-minute chart. Only then it is a valid setup one. So let's go to some other example. So this would be a nice one, very easily. And this is what Sam used to quadruple his account. He was only trading setup one, famous setups on the 15-minute chart, until he stopped and doing it.
Crazy.
He hasn't done it once. He's done it like 2 or 3 times, but he had this major issue with risk management. Like, he goes on and he would go mental on risk. So because he gained so much confidence on the setup itself, right? He started risking quite a lot. Anyway, that's a different story. So this is actually a setup one, but it's a borderline.
Yeah.
It's a
Borderline,
yeah.
yeah.
So from the ground's point of view, green has touched the red line, so that's it. Gator is sleeping, and AO is close to 0 line. So this is the variation of that setup that we can actually put between the setup 2 and the setup 1. So this is like setup 1.5 because you have.
Yeah, I never take those. I don't bother with them.
Well, I don't take them on the M1 or something like that, but on the hourly chart, this has a lot of benefit. Why? Because you have this continuation of price going on one day, and on the next day, you have this opportunity here. Your risk is low, box is tight. Box would be, on this day, it was, look at that, 15 pips.
15, wow. Yeah.
And it's gone way more than 75, which is 3R, right, in your favor.
Yeah.
Not 3R, 4R.
More than that.
Yeah, 4R.
Yeah.
So it's gone 92 in your favor. But if you just trail the hourly candles, you got yourself, let's say 75, which is 4R.
Yeah.
Not 4R.
5R.
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 5R. Great maths. Thank you. My mathematics. So it's 5R easy. But even if you were going for, let's say, 20 stop loss, right? And then you had your 40 target point. That was nicely and easily hit. And as we know that if you take 2R targets and never take more than 1% loss, and you pursue this method, you'll have a 1.2 to 1.3 profit factor over the long run, over the next 1,000 to 2,000 trades. Where you would factor in your mistakes, the market hiccups and all that. It will come to 1.2 and 1.2 profit factor.
So what does 1.2 mean? Does that mean that you've made 20%?
No, 1.2 basically means that for every dollar that you have invested, you have made 1.2 back.
Okay.
So you can say it's a 20% per 100 trades, that kind of thing. So it's the profit factor that, when you are into the stats of trading, you want anything that's above 1.1 profit factor. It's a money-making machine, basically, that strategy. But that's the minimum you will get with, let's say, only 70% discipline, making mistakes and all that. But otherwise, I think for setup 1, setup 2 on this, it's pretty easy. I mean, if I give you the profit factor for these hypothetical results, then it sits way above 1.7. The profit factor is quite high, because it's showing us 67 Rs on 65 trades.
So does it mean for every dollar you put in on pound you put into the market, you'd get 70p back, £1.70 back?
Yes, 1.7 profit factor. But obviously we will make mistakes. We will miss some trades. Sometimes we will collect the rents. But if we are very perfect, let's suppose we were very perfect, we were looking at 4 charts only, and we were trading them very perfectly throughout this year, and we took all these, let's just go randomly, to different dates that I've taken, so you can have a kind of like an idea what I have counted. Let's say I'll just randomly look at them and see which ones I would take. So hold on. So here I think the market's already broken the level, so I probably won't count this, but it could be counted as setup 1. Let me check if I've counted this. I can confirm that I have not counted this in my...
Yeah, so I'd count that. That's a lovely setup for me, that.
It's out of count because it's broken at 3 o'clock, then it stayed up there, and then at 7 o'clock it's actually closed below. So this is one of those that maybe if I was looking at it, maybe I would have put a pending order up there and a stop loss there because it was good setup. But maybe I won't take it because of this, because there's already been a breakout here and then that. So I'm happy to report that I haven't counted this. I will actually put those that that I'm gonna convert it into Excel sheet and then upload it so you guys can actually check it as well if you want. So this is obviously not counted because this is not a setup 1. Let me go back a bit further. Okay, this will be most probably counted. So if you look at this around 10 o'clock, the entry will be taken. Let me check. 31st of August. Yes, I can confirm. This has been confirmed. For strange reasons. Yeah, this is one of those where, the green is close to red line, but it's not really open, but it's not really close. So kind of, I've marked it as setup 1, but I think it should be marked as setup 2.
Setup 2.
Yeah, it should be marked as setup 2. Let me actually change that. The fact of the matter, it's a buy order and it has hit 2R. Now, depending on what stop loss you've used, and most probably the correct stop loss to use would be, hold on, shift. Come on, give me that. So here it's 34, right? But obviously if I go, I would be going with this box. I'd go with this box, which would be 20 or 25. So if I go with 25 stop loss, it's gone 50, not on the same day, but came down. So this is one of those where, in live trading, I could probably mess this up, if you know what I mean. In live trading, I could mess with the formula. That could happen, that I go long here, and I probably, if I was watching it, probably get out there, or if probably take half there, or I probably trail the candles, or probably I take only 1 hour on this. But hypothetically, considering that, okay, if I take a trade using this formula and then I never touch it, I put it on the VPS, right? I set ATM on it, and it will break. It will bring stop loss to break even only when it hits plus 1 hour, and it would always set a target point at 2 hour. Then that's the formula. So I think I will most probably be messing with my trades, but the thing is right in front of us, right? It's there. We know that if we just follow this, and the reason I'm saying that I would mess with it is because I know that sometimes, let me find an example. I know very well that if I took a trade like this, right? I took it here, and my stop loss is here, and then I left it overnight, and I saw it move like this, I'll be very happy to just stay in this. I'll just click the box trail, and it will get me out the day after. So let's say my stop loss here was, well, it couldn't be 25. It would have to be 35 on this, using this box level. Let's say if I had 40 stop loss on this, even that, next day my 2 hour was hit. So if I had my 2 hour, probably it was hit overnight. But if I didn't have a target point, or it wasn't hit, I will most probably at this point decide, what, either add on to it here, or just let it run and take it out there. So I probably had 115 on this. But I think in my list, this would be counted as 2 trades. This would probably be counted as setup 1. Let me check July. Let me go back. July the 24th. So I've considered this as setup 1 because the lines have touched and they always close to zero line. Now, traditionally on setup 1, this would not be taken because there's no fresh cross of zero line. But that's for stage 1 and 2. I'm talking about you're a disciplined trader. You're already into money making. You know, making money is your most important issue here. That's where you're trading. So I'm assuming that you are advanced trader, or you know, at least you've crossed the stage 1 and stage 2, which both of you have. And then this would be counted as setup 2. Let me check that. 27th. Yes. So I've counted this as 1 trade for 2 hours. So, you know, the target has been hit overnight. And the next day I wake up and I look at it and price is still going up. So I take the box break here for another 2 hours. Setup 2. So this would be slightly tricky. Let me change this here. This is how the chart would look. So for most people, it would be, they would think, oh, it's gone too far and stuff like that. But over the years, I've changed my mindset on this. Actually, the ones that move, and when they move, just pursue them. Keep taking trades until you have a rent. You know, because sometimes they just move and move and move. But I think I have, because the green and red have touched on this occasion here and this here, I have not applied the rule of, you know, not taking more than 2 trades in the same wave, because I know this would have been taken as well. Let me check. 22nd of July. 22nd of July, yes. This, yeah, definitely. This is a setup 2. So it is very possible that in live trading, most probably I didn't take this because it looks like too extended, right?
Yeah.
So those are the differences that would appear in live trades. And then you want to kind of do these analysis and then find, you know, in your trading, do you really want to be completely mechanical? You know, so that you don't stray too far away from your hypothetical, right?
That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah.
So this is a setup 1. This is a setup 2. This would be a nice famous setup. Let's go there if they can. Nah, not allowing it. Not happening. 22nd of July. No. Okay, I've gone a bit hyper. Let me just calm myself down a bit. I do tend to go hyper and then I forget things.
You've broken trading view.
Yep. It happens quite a lot with this.
Did 22nd July, did that make 2 hours?
I think so. Let me check again. 22nd of July.
Yeah, it would have been borderline, that one.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Oh yeah, let me actually explain that why. And that's why I wanted to talk to you guys. Like, you know, the difference is people get confused sometimes. You know, the completely new ones just get excited about everything. It's easy to fool them. Just tell them, oh, this is hypothetical. And they're like, oh, yeah, let's put in the money and I'll be making all that money. But 22nd. Oh, did you ask? Hold on. 22nd. Oh, no. The results are for the 22nd. Yeah, it would be tricky, isn't it? Let me check.
Definitely borderline, that one.
Okay, so again, you're counting from this box here.
Yeah, you've gone for the
box. Yeah, where I've gone for this box because this box was not a box until the end of this candle.
True.
Right, I see.
So I have it here for, let's say, 25, and then it's gone 50 very easily in our favor. So, yeah, in live trading, you never know. You know, we probably got out here, or maybe it hit target point there, depending on what was the stop loss. So those discrepancies will occur from time to time. But I don't think it would create a massive difference.
No.
You know, so if I go to the M15 chart for that particular setup, this is where you could, if the price is going sideways, like, you know, down like that, you could actually have this little bit of advantage on this. The M15 really did not help much on this occasion because it broke out here and then never looked back. So your entry would have been there. But if you use the M15 chart, you clearly see that this is the area where you want to get out. So if I count this, between that comes to that same 20 stop loss. So the M15 didn't really help on this occasion, but it kind of at least explains the price to you, that if it went up and came down. But yeah, we're not going to be using M15. Well, I haven't used the M15 for exits or taking the trades on this. I'm just showing it is that why we are taking setup tools is because these type of setup tools are famous setups. This is definitely a famous setup. So you have a very strong price action the day before, followed by, you know, when the banks close, price goes sideways, volatility is lost, and then in the morning it's kind of cracked back in there, and there we go. This is our UK 10 o'clock, and it goes in your favor. And you know, if you were looking at this chart every 5 minutes, it would be very difficult to stay in it because, you know, it's going up and down and all that.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of like have it on VPS or somewhere in the background where ATM is managing it. The only thing, there are two things that you need the ATM for, is one, to like calculate those lot sizes from here and here, put that entry for you, and then the 2x multiple of the target point. And then the other thing that it does is that when it goes 1 hour in your favor, it brings stop loss to break even. But I've done analysis on this, these charts. Even if you don't do the break-even move, it still is quite profitable. But it really is stupid at sometimes, you know, because if you don't do the break-even rule, even at 1.5 hour, then really you are doing stupid trading. So that's,
right.
Yeah, really is stupid trading. Because if it goes, you know, let's suppose, let's find a good example for this. Yeah, like this. Suppose you took a trade here and your stop loss for some odd reason was here. Because I've seen people do that, you know. So let's say you had a 35 stop loss. Now it hasn't gone 70 in your favor, right? It's only gone 50 in your favor. And then you sit and watch it, and you don't have a break-even rule. So you're sitting and watching, and price goes, and then the day after it hits your -1. This is stupid trading, don't you think? Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, this would be stupid trading. It's like, okay, so you didn't get out with profit here, you didn't get out with less profit here, you didn't get out with break-even here, you got out with -1. You, my friend, are a stupid trader. And I'm not sorry about that.
Yeah. You want to get to at least break even.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is trading. I mean, something gives you nearly 2 hour profit and then you get out with -1. That's just ridiculous. Okay, let's go a little bit further back. Probably the end of transmission. But we just, let's go to those highly volatile months. See, again, can you see? Nice, famous, exactly the same pattern that we saw in July. See this one?
Yeah.
So you see that you have this strong move this day, followed by that, lack of momentum and volatility because banks closed, and then the banks open again. There you go, it goes again. So this would be another 2 hour for us, very nice one. 19th of May, let me check that. 19th of May, setup 2, 2R. So more than half the trades that I have taken in this testing are setup 2s. Actually, I'm going to count them. They probably will be more than 60%, which actually proves my point. Setup 2s are very powerful, especially for if you're trading the hourly. Now, if you were trading the 15-minute chart only, then I would say, you know, just stick with setup 1s, because there will be plenty of them. But even on an M15, you would find quite a lot of setup 2s. So this is counted as setup 2, most probably, 2nd of April. Let me see. Yep. This is setup 2, counted. This is setup 2, counted. It's a break-even trade for me. This one I think we could take 2R on this, but for some reason I have counted it as a break-even. 23. Yeah, it has gone. Yeah, this should be 2R. This should be 2R. But I've counted it break even, so just leave it that way. That's. I mean,
you adding the spread on as well then?
Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying that you putting the spread on top then, because that would
Yes. Yeah, because our testing, I was doing it on MT4, so probably let's.
Adding the spread.
Oh yeah. So added the spread probably, and it went to 30 or something, and that's why probably it didn't hit the target button. But I know that if I took this on live, knowing that it has been moving for 1-2 day, and it's a third one, and it moved to this point and this point here, maybe I could do analysis later on this, that if you take a trade, let's say Frankfurt Open, you want to close it somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock, wherever it is. So that could be analysis done as well. Like, on this one, you take a trade here, and then towards the end of the day over here, you close it. You're like, okay, forget it. Or do you want to pursue this way? So, okay, you take a trade here, stop loss is there. When it does something like this, you close half, and then you trail the rest using the box. So that's also, I think this is my favorite mechanism. When I do forex on the hourly, this is how I do it. I take trades here, and then I see strong moves like this. I would most probably get out, or get out 70% or 50% out of this, have my stop loss at break even, and then trail the rest using the box. I have managed to cash some really big winners using this as well. Like sometimes they just move. The dollar yen does that a lot. It's kind of like, see, this is a great example. So on days like this is that March thing. This is actually the day I returned to UK on the 5th of March. And I remember missing all this. So you go long here, and you just let it then run. This day would be very difficult to hold if you were looking at it. Because somewhere here, look at it. If you went long here, somewhere over there, you're sitting at 335 pips, right? I don't know how I'd be able to hold this. I don't know if I would have held it beyond this point. Look at it, 200 pips on euro dollar. Come on, we've seen this market. It doesn't move that much. 200 pips, I'll be out here. But for some reason, if I kept it, then this is your spot to get out. And then over here, Doug will be looking for a setup too.
Oh, yeah.
This is the famous setup too. This is the setup too. This is setup too. So this is my point on this. On all the currencies around Frankfurt Open, if you see market in this formation, this in the past we would say down traded, but this is the setup too. These work. This is the setup too. This is the setup too. This is the setup too. 27th of Feb. Let me check. Yes, I have counted it. 27th of Feb has been counted. 28th has been counted. This is a break-even one. Can be 2R. 27. Yeah, it's correct. It's counted as break-even, this one, 28th of Feb. It can be 2R.
About 26. Did you take that one?
26 probably.
That tiny little
Yep,
box.
it has been counted as -1. 26 has been taken. Then the trade before that is 20th. This has been taken. See, very difficult for me to take it on live account. I know that, but for the purpose, for the purpose of the testing, I have taken it. I've even taken the 19th. I've taken this as well. I've taken the 18th as well. A 2R. And then before that, the 17th, 18th, I've counted as one trade. Why? Because if you took this trade, right, you're most probably in it the next day as well. So I counted 17, 18 as one trade. Or if you didn't take it here, then you took it there. And both gave you 2Rs. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
13th of Feb, I've taken this. So this is a big box. So most probably on live, we would, if I take this, my entry would be here, and I have my stop loss above this box instead of that one, because I know that bigger box would just, restrict my target. So this is a nice setup one. That has been taken, 12th of February, yes. And so, yeah, with moves like this, the market is moving and it's going down, and you're sitting waiting for setup one, not benefiting from this price action, which is, I think, stupid. So we are not going to be stupid. We're going to go for these trades. So the question is, would you be able to see this as a trade? And that's what it is. It's going to look like this. So it's not pretty looking chart from the point of view of setup one. But if you look at it, it moves around those, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's when it moves. That's what it gives you entries, which is perfect for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that why you're doing the 1 hour rather than lower time frames?
Yeah. The top of the hours is everything. Banks and them, they put their orders top of the hour.
Okay.
Institutions and them, everything's top of the hour. And then
so you wouldn't use this on lower time frames then?
Not set up too like this.
I'm doing the S12 and the M1.
Yeah, this no, this won't translate into trading the DAX. This is a specific one for the hourly time frame for forex.
Right, got you. Okay.
So it's not that I will start taking trades. The reason I'm taking this trade is because the fundamental reasons behind it is that, it's London Open, it's
London
forex.
Open, right, got
yeah.
You. Yeah.
The market is.
Yeah, I missed the beginning of this conversation. Now I get you. See what you're doing now. Yeah.
And this is based on the the last few years of observation on the hourly chart. That.
Yeah, it's a good little method actually, isn't it?
This is fantastic. I mean, the results are, and this is just one pair you're talking about.
Yeah. Is it only 6% a month? The way they're going through these, I thought it'd be a lot higher.
No, you don't get that many trades every week. That's
right.
why it's 6%. That the average is 6%, because some months there are about 9 to 10 trades every month. You're getting it quite consistent. Most of the months you have 9, 10, 11 trades.
On each pair.
Yeah, so when I say 4 pairs is enough for forex, that's what I mean. Let's suppose you have this, and after this I'm going to do the analysis on pound dollar. I do pound dollar every year. I haven't missed.
Okay.
I usually look for setup ones, and there aren't many setup ones. So it's usually a few hours of work for me. Well, not a few hours actually, hour, 2 hours max on a weekend, especially when the kids used to be in normal years. If anyone can remember those normal years, the kids would spend quite a lot of long time outside in the garden or gone with their mum to some other park or something like this, right? I'm here. I'll be sitting, looking at these things, and so I would count these. But this year, I've taken quite a lot of setup tools like this, and I think this should be a standard. So I don't know if you were paying attention earlier this year. Every time we took a trade like this, this would probably be not taken, or maybe it. Oh yeah. So on a setup like this, I will still take them. So if you can see this, it's 8 o'clock candle, right? The London open candle. This is. It's actually PC'd itself, right?
Yeah.
It's hit the red line, that box level, bounced against it, closed outside. I would be short here, and my stop loss would be up there. So this would be a good trade for me as well.
Where would you short? You'd be short below the previous candles? Or?
I would be short right at the close of this candle.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because everything's confirmed now. There is no reason for me to wait. I have this is important. The day before, what's happened the day before? I can see something, and I know this would have been some news which I would have looked into. I would know what the market is doing. At this point, I would also have known that pound would be moving, and this would have moved some other euro pairs as well. Something like that. There would be a combination there, and I would know that okay, the market is actually bearish. You can see already it's very, very bearish. So then within a bearish market, you get a bearish strong candle like this. That's it. I'm on it. So entry is here. And most probably a 20 stop loss on this, because this was a low volatility period. Yeah, look at that. Very low. Because, before March, the normal euro dollar was very, very low. Look at that. Even if I chose that, it's 15 pips. But that also means that if it's low, then the results are going to be low as well. So if I went with 15, I never got my 2R. Not until the day later. So if I went short here, I most probably for this, I would have a 10 stop loss. That's it. At that point, which doesn't make sense now these days, going with a 10 stop loss. But around those days, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, got to adapt. Yep.
And then
So I was going to say, on a daily basis, would you say that if you were looking at 4 pairs, there's always one of these setups every day on between the 4 pairs? Or
well, you do the math.
Do you not know that?
You do the math. It comes to like once. Comes to 68 or 69, 65 trades in 11 months.
On each pair?
On this pair. So I don't know
on this pair.
What's the count for.
No, I was just thinking if you were looking at like 10 pairs or something, would you just look for one each day that, I
think if you look at 10 pairs, then most probably you get one, because you are talking about different variables. You'll have gold in there, you'll have the Aussies in there, you'll have the USD CAD in there, and you probably have a couple of crosses in there as well. Otherwise, you can't get to 10, right? So you probably get 1 or 2. But I think the way to think about it is, are we looking for trades, or are we looking for a methodology that it gives you an edge in the market and it's profitable?
Methodology.
Yeah, so...
But then apply it to the pair. Yeah, I'm just thinking, could you get 1 a day out of this?
So think about this. If you can get 65, and let's suppose we made some mistakes and stuff, and I only got 4 TRs.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, it's giving me 68 or 69. Forget that. I want half of that. I got 30.
Right.
30 or 35.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I could do that on 4 pairs, you're still talking doubling your account.
Doubling the account, yeah. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
So how difficult would it be to manage 4 pairs? It's very easy.
Yeah.
And that's when we should be trading. When your mind says, this looks easy, it should be that way. In forex, And in trading, I think my belief is that if you think it's complicated, it's actually 10x more complicated. So you should be actually in the mindset of this is simple. And you would find that in reality, it's not really that simple, but it works. So I remember I used to talk to Jazz about this, Jasmine. Like when you look at the number of charts that you want to follow, and your brain goes, or you think, that's just 4. That's indication that it's just about right. And if you say 8 pairs, that looks just about right, then my analysis from my point of view, I think what I've learned in the last few years is that this is probably just not right for you. It's just out of your reach. So always go for, oh yeah, 4 pairs. Very easy. That means that in reality it will be just about okay for you. So every time I think about 4 pairs, my head goes, 4. I can check that in a second. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what you want. I think, you can look at 8 pairs. You can. But if the rule is that you cannot trade one pair, more than one pair, or if you can't trade more than once on a single pair, and you cannot trade more than 2, because this is my rule for Forex. I cannot take more than 2 positions on the Forex account. Then what point is there for me to look at 8? And the other point is, on most days when you get a setup on euro dollar, you'll also get it on euro yen. You'll also get it on euro whatever. You'll also get it on pound dollar, on Australian dollar. In most cases, they move in the same day. So most of the trades, let me complete my pound dollar and then we'll do this parallel analysis. Like, were most of the trades taken on the same day or were they spread across? And you would find that about 70% of the time they overlap. So, yeah. So whether it's 20 charts or 4, if they all kind of move on the same day, there's no point of looking at 20 because you can't take 20 trades, can you?
No.
I mean, we used to. We could take them in the past. But now we have a granddaddy who's decided our risk management for us,
Yeah.
Even leave vote doesn't help. These are UK rules. Maybe after Brexit we could change this rule. Maybe some joy come out of Brexit for us.
Americans can only take 3 trades a week.
Oh yeah, they are,
Rude.
Yeah, they're just like, by the balls. They've held them properly.
If you take more than 3 trades, they suspend your account for 3 months. 30 days or something.
Yeah, I think it's a good buy for them, for that market. But I think that has brought a lot of, all of that money which was going to go into these markets, it's all gone to stocks.
Yeah.
And I think the circuit breaker rule that they applied in 2015 has really helped sustain this bullish trend. This wasn't the case in the past. Now, if there's like
people were shorting.
Yeah, the 10%. When something goes 10% up or down, or is it 5%? I think it's 10%. Then that individual stock gets halted for like 3 minutes, or is it 5 minutes?
Right.
And then it begins again, and then if it goes further 10, then it holds. And that kind of breaks that sequence of algorithms that destroys those stocks. So I think it's really helped them. So yeah, this is what it is. You know the rules. You can do your back testing as well. It would be nice. It helps me understand the market better. And I think this is a powerful thing to use. Like, when I use this bar replay, bring it here, because for trading purposes, I need to familiarize my eyes with this setup, because this is how the market would look like when I'm about to trade it. It's not gonna look like, oops. You know, it's not gonna look like this. By this time, trade is gone. So we need to learn this pattern here. That's the setup too.
Yeah.
So this is, I think this is the third day, or let's call it second day into wave 3. Then you have the third and the fourth day into wave 3. So the further it is, the less chance of success we would have. This would be our, see, we have the first divergence here. So that's one. So taking the trade after this on the day after would be difficult for me over here.
Yeah.
In most cases, I will not take this. But in some cases, if I see that the daily chart and everything is moving really strongly, then I probably will take it. But that will be dictated. See here, so if I went to the daily chart, not if I have gone to the daily chart on this, right? And on this day, it's tested those levels. And it was, hold on, let me just put a line there to see how this would affect my decision. Go back to the hourly. Yeah, look at this. There's.
Right, I'll go, Remy. Thanks very much.
All right.
Cheers.
Lovely to talk to you, man.
Yep. See you later.
Yeah, my throat is drying up as well, so it's 1 hour or something. It is what it is. I'm gonna do the other pairs as well, and I'll share that information with you. I think 4, 6, or 8 pairs. We must apply. This is a very good method of trading it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for on the smaller time frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. And that.
Yeah, this is not bad, but this has got specific. The specific reasons are that, you know, those bank times. So banks open around this time, and then they kind of close around this time. So that's why the market goes sideways, and then it goes again.
Yeah. So what time do you put your pending in? Do you put it in before the 8 o'clock? Because that was 7 o'clock. You'd have missed that one, wouldn't you?
No, this is. I wouldn't miss this.
No.
I won't miss this because at the Frankfurt Open, which is an hour before London Open, right?
Yeah.
I have the setup ready. So I have my pending order here. This one closed at 7 o'clock. So this is a 7 o'clock candle. I would take this as a market order. So most probably before this candle was closed, as soon as I saw, because this just closed outside a very nice, lovely setup, and the candle closed outside the box,
Yeah.
I was most probably either have a pending order below this low, or I would go in here and my stop loss would go there straight away.
Right.
And then I would pursue it this way. This one has quite a lot of chances. Like, you know, I would take it here, and then I would trail the candles and get out here if it didn't hit my 2-hour target.
Yeah.
And these are the days where I would have to, like, but I think in most cases, if I take this trade and ATM is on, I'm not going to touch it. It's just going to go. But if I was watching it, I probably will change the 2-hour target. I will cancel the 2-hour target and just trail the candles and get out here.
Is the time on TradingView UK time, is it?
Yeah, this is UK timing, yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. This is also what I explained in the beginning of the talk. It's like, okay, the time is UK time, so don't get confused.
Right, got you.
Yeah, if it was not the UK time, then obviously I missed it, because then this is where Frankfurt Open would be.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was
then I
thinking,
won't
yeah.
take it. Yeah. So this is
You'll be chasing then.
yeah. Then I'll be chasing. Okay. Let me just find that.
I'm going to get this TradingView back online this next couple of days.
Look at this. Pound is moving. The pound has done some, you know, extraordinary stuff this year. around this time, you know, I was traveling all this time. Oh man, this is nice. Consecutive candles. Let's go there. Let's go to the hourly chart. See, I have those lines on them as well. Yeah, so this would be our trade on this.
Yeah.
This would be a no trade, very big box.
Yeah.
Hits it again. There's a no trade on this, but this is becoming into a trade. Most probably I'll miss it. I know this, because I would have done this analysis on this, and then I wouldn't be looking at it. But it actually is a trade.
Do you not worry about the levels on the hourlies?
Yeah, I
You've
do.
got
I
to-
do. And that's why the box is
Yeah.
here. I think in the past I've done some analysis on this around that time.
Right.
See, those boxes are there. So most probably I would have missed this because of those levels. But now it's getting ready for something. But I think in this occasion it's moved before the London Open. So most probably we will miss this. I wouldn't have taken this. A very nice clean pullback though. Look at that.
Yeah.
Very lovely pullback setup. Most probably, you know, there's a high probability that if I was watching it, I might take this. And I probably would have dropped to the M15 chart to see if there was setup 1 on it. Here we go. The M15 has a setup 1 on it. So look, over here, the M15
Yeah.
has given us a setup 1,
Yeah.
but can also be considered as setup 2 because by the time you were taking the entry,
Yeah.
the gate was open. But we'll still call it as a setup 1 because it's a pullback on H1 that created a setup 1 on the M15. And I have not counted the H1 M5 entries into this because that's also something that can be brought into the mix. The during strong moving markets, you know, like when you have pullbacks like these, you know, 2 candle pullbacks,
Mhm.
they create fantastic H1 M5 setup 1s.
Right. Yeah.
So, see, yeah, this is something. See what's happening here? A pause candle, and if there's another pause candle here, this would create a setup 1 on M5. See this? That's the M5 chart. So if you have another 12 candles to the sideways, it most probably will create a setup 1 for us on the M5. But we don't look at it unless we see something like this, like a very strong move. See, if there's a very strong move, now we look for 2 or 3 sideways candles that would create a setup. But not pursuable. Why? Because normally we'd be looking forward to, okay, it's 12 o'clock. I think another hour or two, another hour we'll have the US session open. So we would expect the US market to actually move it further down. But today there is no. Oh, I think there is a US session.
Exactly.
But it's kind of like, you know, who would?
Yeah.
Who would? Everyone's off, man. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it.
Yeah. Nice one.
Lovely talking to you guys, man.
Yeah. Likewise. Yeah. Thanks, Amit.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Cheers.